Everybody, welcome. Welcome to Biotechnica's webinar on top 5 trending courses. Can you see me and hear my voice? Am I audible and visible too? Okay, fantastic. How are you all? Good evening everyone. So, welcome to another very important webinar on top 5 trending skills and courses post corona era. And before I get started, I have a question to all of you. So tell me, did you attend my previous webinar? Okay, so did you attend that webinar which was on how to overcome this recession because of coronavirus? You did? Okay, fantastic. So today in today's webinar, we are going to discuss about top 5 trending skills and top 5 courses, which is going to help you excel in your career once the lockdown reopens. I know all of you are willing to go out and do your normal jobs and whatever, but you see this lockdown is very crucial, and we have to know which courses, which skill set will be in high demand in the post corona era. So let's talk about the pre-corona era. How was it for our field, which is life sciences or biosciences field? So how our field was. Generally, we will be like, okay, there is no scope for biosciences. There is no importance of life sciences. Nobody was recognizing the importance. The government was reducing the funding. But post-corona era, all this is going to change. All this is going to vanish. And you can see I have written here BC doesn't mean before Christ, it means before corona, right? Right, exactly. So what really was happening in this before corona era is people were not aware, people were not giving importance to this field, but now everything changes. Now everything will be different, and now this field will come out from this turning point. This is the tipping point of life sciences, and you all are very lucky to be born in this tipping point of corona era, because once you are out of this era, this will be the best place to be in. So let's do a fact check. Why was actually the biotech and pharma field growing slower? Now, it was growing slower because the funding, the venture capital or the public funding into the laboratories was less. That is why our scholars had to really struggle harder to get JRF, SRF, or whatever scholarships, fellowships. But now things have changed. The fact is, after this corona era, the vaccine design and development for coronavirus, you can see how much money is being poured in all across the world for this virus, right? So that's what is going to happen. So what has changed now is the awareness, the funding, the way people are going to perceive, and that is what I discussed in my previous webinar, in which how to survive the recession. But now that you all know it, you must know that you have to be ready, because if you are ready, then only you can excel from it, and you can also gather maximum advantage. The person who goes an extra mile, a person who goes beyond the edge, becomes cutting edge. I want you to become cutting edge, and that is why you must attend this webinar till the end. Okay, so I have got 3 experts who are going to talk about 5 different skill set, 5 different courses which you should be pursuing, which you should be aware of, because post corona era, they are going to be the stepping stones on which you will climb and you will jump towards success. And what we want at Biotechnica is you must succeed. So let's get started. Now, before I actually jump in and invite my experts to talk, I want to tell you about Sir Isaac Newton. During the plague pandemic of 1665, okay, some of you are already aware of this. Okay, so what exactly happened in case of Sir Isaac Newton, right? So Sir Isaac Newton was also in a lockdown. Okay, 1665 to 1667, there was a plague pandemic across the globe, and Newton was confined to his own place and he was studying, he was preparing, and in future I'll show you at the end what all he discovered. Of course, you all know gravity, but apart from gravity, he discovered many more things. Okay, so I want all of you to utilize this lockdown to learn new skills, to know what will be the trending courses of future, and I want you to, at least one of you should become as exemplary as Newton, right? So are you ready? Are you eager to learn today? If you are eager to learn today, please type ETL in the chat box if you are eager to learn. Let's see how many of you are eager to learn the new trending courses and skills. Are you? Okay, fantastic. I can see a lot of people eager to learn, right? So let's jump in. So you should know these trends because you can become something which what Newton is today, right? 200 years from today, you have to prepare yourself like that. Okay, I want you this lockdown to become the Newton moment for all of you. Okay, so now that I'm all set and ready to pass on the controls, I have something very important to tell you. That is, you cannot learn in school what the world is going to teach you next year, okay? Or what the world is going to do next year. For example, 1 year back, did anybody tell you that there's going to be a coronavirus pandemic? Start preparing. Nobody told. And that is what our intention at Biotechnica is, to help you, to prepare you beforehand by telling you these trends so that you are ready for these trends and you can learn them better, because next year is not going to be 2020. It will be a post-corona era where everywhere there will be a huge demand for people who are having these skill sets, who are having these 5 skill sets which we are going to show you today. So you can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. They're not to be taught in this in universities. They will not be taught in books, but they're right here in this webinar. Okay, and today's agenda, as I told you, we're going to tell you top 5 trending skills and trends and courses. We're going to tell you about the scope of these courses, and we're going to tell you where you can learn these courses. We will tell you what you must be learning inside these courses, and I will meet you at the end with the surprise gift. Okay, remember, actions are the seed of fate. You have to learn today, you have to take action today, and this seed will change your destiny. It will grow into your destiny. Okay, so take action today. Watch this webinar till the end. Okay, now my colleague Priyanjana will be joining you shortly. She'll be telling you all the details about one skill set. Followed by that, there will be 2 more speakers, and I will meet you at the end, and I will give you even more details and a surprise gift to all of you who attend this webinar till the end. So promise me you will attend this webinar till the end. You will? Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot. I'll see you at the end. Priyanjana, you can connect now, and see you. Bye-bye.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, so am I audible to everyone? Okay, my voice is clear. Okay, so yes, I'm getting all the feedbacks one by one. Okay, fine. And yes, so I guess you are able to see my PPT, right? It's crystal clear? Okay, fine. So this is Priyanjana Ghosh, and yes, I welcome you, everyone, or all the participants who are attending this webinar. And as you can see, that we are going to talk about this top 5 courses in demand post COVID-19 pandemic situation. Okay, and first and foremost, I would like to thank Shekhar sir for his extremely motivational speech he delivered regarding this critical situation. Whatever he said, yes, that was definitely very, very scintillating and motivational. Okay, so yes, now I will be continuing with the next part, and yes, definitely I will be discussing about the current situation we are standing in, and definitely in this situation also that how we can recover, or what is the current scenario of this phase, And yes, we will be seeing that what are those 5 courses which are in actual demand this post COVID-19 phase. Okay, so let me start with this. So what will be the agenda of the webinar for today? So we are going to talk about or give a brief introduction to COVID-19, effects and impacts of COVID-19, okay, the current scenario which we are facing in, okay, course modules, what are the course modules, or what are the 5 courses which we are keeping into our mind, which will be definitely on high demand post this pandemic phase. And definitely the career and scope and future of virology. Okay, so yes, now first and foremost, we should keep this in our mind, that how this COVID-19 came into being, right? So definitely the history originated from a wet market in China. So it is expected that this particular disease, the dreadful disease, the pandemic era, all its journey started from the wet market or the seafood market in China. So basically in the late 2019, someone at the now world famous Hunan seafood market in Wuhan, China, was infected with a virus from an animal. And there is part of an awful history. We all know about that, still in the making, with COVID-19 spreading from that first cluster in the capital of China's Hubei province to a pandemic that has killed over 1 lakh people worldwide so far. So yes, if you see the course modules for virology, we have different course modules. There are 14 course modules, out of which I'm going to tell the first 7. We have basic virology, transmission biology, viral diseases, molecular evolution of viruses, viral pathogenesis, epidemiology. Okay, these are the first 7 modules of this course virology. The last 7 is all about COVID-19, antivirals and vaccines, diagnostic virology, recent advances in molecular virology, isolation, culture and identification of viruses, viruses and cancer, and control and management of viral diseases. Okay, so these are the rest 7. So all total we have 14 modules. Yes, thank you, Ishita, that you are happy to know about. Yes, COVID-19 is also included in your course module for virology. Okay, so we had to include this, right? Yes, so coming to this career scope of studying virology, right? So you must be thinking that what can be the career aspects of virology, of studying virology. So there are a lot of aspects or scope in hospitals. Definitely virologists do have a lot of demand in hospitals, definitely in medical schools, medical research companies. A lot of R&D companies are there. I will be telling you at the end that what are the possible companies which definitely work with virologists. Okay, pharmaceutical companies, that is what somewhat this is R&D. Governmental agencies also, yes, many government organizations like this government of India and also the state governments, health sector, they take in or lot the virologists. Okay, different laboratory testing companies, definitely they require virologists for to perform different tests, and yes, definitely medical tests. Definitely cancer treatment. In cancer treatment, virologists do play a very important role. So in all these sectors, you will be having a scope for or as a virologist. Okay. So what are the future prospects we are having? Yes, coming to this, scientists who train as virologists, they play a very important role in public health. Okay, so that is very, very important. And yes, coming to this virologists, like they should be they should be trained. Definitely they are some of the best trained public health professionals, and they are with master's or bachelor's degree in science with a master's degree in public health also. Okay, and if in addition to that you do a PhD in the same, it's nothing like it. Okay, your chances becomes much better. So what are the skills you need to become a virologist? That is very, very important. Okay, So you need an analytic and inquisitive mind, definitely, because you all can understand that this is a research based field. So you have to be analytical and also inquisitive, curious. You have to be calm and under pressure also. If you're panicking at this point of time, then definitely you will be losing out different way outs, a lot of way outs which are coming in, which might come into your way. So just think of the present situation we are having, and how all the virologists, how all the microbiologists, they are working and they are fighting with this situation to come up. Good communication skills you should be having, definitely. Molecular biology skills, you should be equipped with molecular biology skills, and also with IT and software skills, because you need to represent the data nowadays with different softwares we are having. So you need to have a very good IT skills for that. Okay, so these are the 5 important skills you should be bearing. Okay, so definitely, what are the job demand or the prospects we are having for this particular virology courses? Like, yes, we are expecting that by 2020 we'll have a 10% increase in the job prospects of the virology, because definitely virologists will have a great demand. And by 2020, not only a 10% increase for the epidemiologists, but also virologists will have a 27% increase, which is being expected by the statisticians nowadays. And yes, definitely microbiologists will also have a leap, but it is almost 7%. But the maximum leap will be for the virologists in the future, because definitely post this era will have we definitely we will be demanding virologists in huge numbers, and we actually virologists have to work also on this. Now, coming to this research, that is definitely some of the demanding areas of research in virology today will be the emerging viruses, which we have already seen in the past. Like, we have dreadful Ebola, we have dreadful SARS, MARS. Okay, so we have to work on these are the scope of our research. They are the elements of our research with which we can continue, right? So they have been recently discovered, definitely, and they can be a very good focus of the fascinating research. Now, coming to the job security, as I told you that yes, with virology, with studying virology, with doing certain courses of virology, you will be definitely benefited, because now we will be needing in future a lot of virologists. And I would like to tell you, all of you here, that you know about statement of purpose, right? So statement of purpose is a strong abstract form which you need to submit whenever you're going for PhD into any labs. So I would suggest that please make an SOP based on the skill of this particular format, that how to strategize COVID-19, how to get rid of COVID-19. And if you are having this element in your SOP, it will be a strong one. And post a CSR examination, you can definitely send it across all the research institutes where you have scope of research. Okay, so yes, I told you that I will be talking about the top companies of virology. And yes, the first one is GSK, GlaxoSmith. We all know it's a, yes, definitely. Yes, Ishita, you're right. It's a top-notch pharmaceutical-based company. Next, we have another one, Outpost Medicine. Yes, it's yet another very good and renowned company that intake a lot of virologists. We have Novavax, and you can see the tagline of the company here, that's creating tomorrow's vaccines today. Okay. Yes, we have Gilead. It's another very, very renowned company which do a lot of work based on such dimensions of virology. We have AbbVie. We have this AbbVie Allergan, which is a very important and a very good company we have. We have All Cells. We have Pfizer. I guess the name of Pfizer you have been knowing. It's a very renowned company. And we have Morgridge. Okay, it's Institute for Research. And these are the top, I can say, the 7 companies which I have enlisted for you all. So please visit their websites. It's there, and you will get all the details, what sort of work is being done over there. Okay, so yes, thank you so much.
Hello everyone, this is Richa Kakkar. and today we are discussing about top 5 courses in demand post COVID-19 pandemic. So you would have already got a gist of what this webinar is about, and you would have known about one of the courses of virology that is going to be in very much demand after this pandemic. So let us move on to the other courses, which are going to be very important, and let's try to know something about it. So the second course that we'll be discussing in today's webinar is about epidemiology, courses in epidemiology. Okay, so what is epidemiology exactly? The definition, if you have to define epidemiology, it is the study of distribution and determinants of health related states or events in specified populations and the applications of this study to control of health problems. So basically, if we want to put it in simpler terms, what is epidemiology? So it is relating to all the aspects that are related to a population's health. Okay. So if there is a particular disease that is prevalent in a community or in a country or in a population, or something such as a COVID-19 pandemic, something like that. So in that case, what is the role of epidemiology? It is to identify the the various aspects of this particular disease spread that is taking place. What are these aspects including? They include where did it originate, how is it spreading, what are the different measures that can be taken to stop the spread, what are the different measures that can be taken to eradicate the disease, then what is the spread rate in the population, is it affecting some community more, or is it based more on age, or is it related to particular sex, or any other aspect of it such as mortality rate. So all these things are included in epidemiology. So and so the role of an epidemiologist is to go into the depth of all these aspects of the disease. So naturally, because all such different parameters are involved in epidemiology, it becomes natural for this this area to be highly interdisciplinary. Okay. So it's a quantitative discipline that relies on a working knowledge of probability, statistics, biology, behavioral science, physics, ergonomics, public health sciences, medicine, all of these and many more. So, uh, so epidemiology is, a very inclusive subject. You have to have the knowledge of biology primarily. You have to have the knowledge of how people will respond to an epidemic or a pandemic. So you have to study all those aspects. Then you have to figure out things, how will you reach out to the people so that they do not panic and take the correct measures in order to combat this disease. Then you also have to have a knowledge of what is the probability of the spread of this particular disease, what are the statistics, then what are the effects that it is going to have on the economy if it's not dealt with in a correct way. So all these different parameters are involved in epidemiology, which makes it highly interdisciplinary. Now, since this is a very complicated subject, if we want to get to the basics of what are the basic questions that are asked in epidemiology, so there are these 5 W's of epidemiology. Okay, so what, who, where, when, and why, or how. So these are the 5 W's of epidemiology. What meaning? The diagnosis of the disease or the health event or the disease spread that is taking place. So what is that particular disease? That is the first W. What is that disease? Then who? What kind of person, what kind of people is it affecting more? Is it affecting all of the population indiscriminately? Is it affecting only a particular age group? Is it affecting only certain people of socio-economic background? Or is it affecting only a particular sex? So all these aspects come under the second W, which is who. The third W is where. Which place did it originate? What were the factors which led to emergence of such a disease? And where all are the chances of the spread of disease to take place? So that is the third W of epidemiology. Then comes when. So when did this take place? What uh, what were the what were the conditions around that time when the spread or emergence of this disease took place? So that includes the fourth W. Then comes why or how. So what are the causes? What are the risk factors? What are the modes of transmission? So you have to know all of that. Risk factor meaning, is it related to cleanliness? Is it related to age, such as, for example, in case of coronavirus, it is affecting more of very young children, or it's affecting very older people. So these are the risk factors. And if you are not, what are the causes? How what is the reason behind the spread of this disease? So all these aspects also, if we talk in relation to coronavirus also, there are a lot of causes of spread that have emerged, right? So now slowly we are knowing that yes, the distance, minimum distance between people should be this much, because the droplets are traveling this far, and all those various aspects that are emerging now. So all of this is because of the study of epidemiology. All of this is because of the role of epidemiologists in such cases. Okay. So that was about the basics of how you ask questions in epidemiology in order to find out the answers, in order to eradicate the disease, and in order to come out of this grave situation. So such a situation which has been arised right now because of the coronavirus, it's new, right? And this whole concept of epidemiology is not very old. Okay, so it's a young field with constantly expanding boundaries. So what are the range of activities that are included in this young field? It's investigation and control of disease outbreak. It's the study of environmental and industrial hazards, evaluation of preventive or curative programs or treatments, then evaluation of the effectiveness and efficiency of intervention or control strategy. So you can understand this is a very inclusive kind of a field. You have to investigate and control the outbreak. So right now the epidemiologists and all are really acting as investigators. They are trying to go to the root cause of the problem, and they are also trying to study the environmental hazards. Then how can it be prevented, how can it be cured, then what is the effectiveness of the treatment, how efficiently are people recovering, are there any cases of relapse of this condition? So all these things are studied with the help of epidemiology, and also if there is any new aspect to it, that is also included under epidemiology, and that's why it's called that it is having constantly expanding boundaries. So it's not limited to a particular area. It's all inclusive, all the little aspects, starting from the origin of the disease to the spread, to how the body reacts, how it could be treated, how the spread could be stopped. All these things are included in epidemiology, and it uh, practically does not have any limits. Now, since it is so interdisciplinary, naturally the epidemiologist cannot be restricted to one particular field, right? So what are the different settings in which epidemiologists work? They work in academia, they work with international health agencies. So in academia, they are, carrying out research related to various aspects of a particular disease. Then they are working with international health agencies, where they are actually working among the people. Then state and local health departments, again, they are actually working at the local level, they are working with the people. Federal government agencies and health programs, so they can design certain health programs. They can give out circulars, they can give out guidelines for people to follow so that the spread is combated. Then health maintenance organizations, so they take care that uh, once the situation is under control, it remains in control. So the people of health maintenance organizations take care of these things. Then they are also involved in numerous research projects, privately and publicly sponsored projects. So epidemiologists are working in these varied settings. They are not restricted to one particular area. This is the whole set of different skills that are required by epidemiologists. So they should be, they are trying to analyze something, they are trying to get into root cause of something. So they have to be talking to people, they have to communicate with people. So they have to be excellent listeners, they have to be efficient communicators, they have to be critical thinkers to interpret whatever information that they are getting. They have to be good in data presentations, they have to be patient. Then they have to be able to work independently, because most of the times they are going for field work where they are not going in teams, they are working individually. So they should have a leadership quality, they should have logical reasoning, problem solving abilities, they should have knowledge of statistical analysis. So all of these qualities or skills are required by the epidemiologist. So these are not mostly inherent, so they have to be developed slowly and gradually. So there are a lot of courses that are available. There are some epidemiology institutes in India. We have ICMR, National Institute of Epidemiology in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and we have one in West Bengal, Kolkata, All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health. So in the West Bengal, All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health has a dedicated department of epidemiology, and it also has a Medical Council of India recognized Master of Public Health course of 3 years. So this is very essential to become an epidemiologist, this MPH course of 3 years. So there are some other institutes also in India that are offering this MPH course. It's one is in Trivandrum, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Science and Technology. Then we have ICMR, National Institute of Epidemiology, Chennai. We have one in Bengaluru, Public Health Foundation of India. We have one in New Delhi, National Institute of Health and Family Welfare. So these are the different epidemiology institutes in India. So we also have a course related to epidemiology in Biotechnica. So it is covering almost all the different aspects related to epidemiology. So doing this course will give you a very fair idea of what epidemiology is. It will help you, discover whether you are actually interested in going into this field. So you'll be able to, explore that particular aspect of your career to make a choice. And if you decide to get into this particular field, if you decide to pursue higher studies in epidemiology, then you will be at an edge from others, because you already have a very fair amount of idea and you are well prepared for what is going to come your way. So these are the different topics that are covered in our epidemiology course. Of course, introduction, then concepts of disease occurrence, measures of risk and association, epidemiological studies, its inference in public health, then what are the sources of bias in epidemiological studies, investigating and controlling an outbreak, public health surveillance, measures of risk, how do you summarize the data that you have collected, how do you display public health data. Then it is also including understanding coronavirus. Okay. So using it as an example, we are giving you, a very fresh data related to epidemiology, health survey research methods, and career scope in the field of epidemiology. So all these various topics which are, covering each and every aspect of epidemiology course, so that you're very well prepared if you want to get into this course in the future or not. You can make a strong informed decision, and also if you get into this course, you'll be able to uh, be very well prepared, and you'll be having an edge over the others. So that was all about epidemiology course, which is going to be one of the very in demand courses after coronavirus pandemic. Now let us move on to another course. Let's move on to our third course out of the top 5, which is courses in food technology. So this is one field which is going to touch each and every human being's life on earth. Very important, field, very important aspect. So let us, try to learn more about courses in food technology. What is food science basically? It is an area of applied sciences that involves basics of biochemistry, chemical engineering, physical sciences in order to understand the overall nature of the food. What is the biological nature of the food? What effect is it having on our body? So all these various aspects are included in food science. So how is it basically going to have an impact on your overall health? It also involves the manufacturing, processing, treatment, preservation, and distribution of food. So all of this is included in food science. How do you prepare food and how is it going to affect your body? This is the whole idea behind food science. What are the objectives of food science? To understand the principles that are involved in preparation of food, from manufacturing till the distribution, till it is being consumed by the people. So all of this are the objectives of food science. So understanding these processes, what is the outcome of understanding anything? You can come up with solutions that can remove existing problems, and it can improve the processes. Okay, so you can come up with step suggestion processes that will improve the food quality for the consumers, which is going to have a very serious impact on the health of our country. Okay, or in other words, we can say the productivity of our country. So for a career in food industry, the basic qualification that you need to have is you should have physics, chemistry, maths, and biology at +2 level. That is the basic qualification for career in food industry. Then, if we talk about bachelor's degree, 3 to 4 years degree in food science and food technology, or food science and agriculture will get you into food industry. There are also alternative courses available if you do not have any such college that provides these courses to you in your vicinity. You can go for alternative courses such as biotechnology, biochemistry, microbiology, chemical or process engineering, organic chemistry, nutrition, etc., etc. Okay, so these are the alternative courses which you can pursue at bachelor's degree, and then move on to do some specialized course, some diploma degree, and get into the food industry. So if you want to get into QC, QA, quality control, quality analyst, or research and development, then you have to have a master's or a PhD. Okay, so QCQ masters could be in your food science also. It could be in these alternative courses also, like biotechnology, biochemistry. Okay, or a PhD related to food science. For sales and marketing roles, you need to have a master in business administration. To become a nutritionist or a dietitian, a certificate course or postgraduate diploma course is also fine. Okay, so these are the various careers in food industry. Now let us discuss about some of the top universities and colleges to study food science and food technology. There is CFTRI, of course, in Mysore. Then you have National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, NIFTEM. You have Indian Institute of Crop Processing Technology, National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute. You have Food and Drug Toxicological Research Center, National Institute of Nutrition. Indian Institute of Toxicological Research, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, Department of Food Science and Technology, which is in Pondicherry, then International Life Sciences Institute. Then you also have certain courses in ICER Pune. Okay. So all these universities and colleges in India are providing best food science and technology courses if you want to get into this course, if you want to get into this field. Then there are some colleges in the US which give a very good food technology degree. Cornell University, University of Illinois, then Texas A&M University, UC Davis, University of Florida. Then there are certain good colleges in other countries as well. In Dublin, Cork, then Copenhagen, Denmark, all these places you have some good food technology courses. Then this is the most commonly asked question. Everybody is interested to know the salary structure of food technologist in India, or for that matter in any course, any field you want to get into. You have to have a fair idea of what the salary structure is, right? So for a fresher, it is around 20 to 25 per month, depending on what are your qualifications. Then 5 years into this field, you can expect something between 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs 40,000 annually. 10 years into the field, you can expect somewhere between 9 lakhs to 11 lakhs 80,000 annually. Okay. So this is what you can expect as a salary for food technologist. Okay. Then there are different fields also. There are sales and marketing. So it usually has 20 to 25% higher income than QA, QC and R&D. Without incentives, it is 20 to 25% higher. And there are some more additional incentives, of course, in the sales and marketing area. About nutritionists and dietitians, annually 2,10,000 on an average. That is the average annual income of a nutritionist or a dietitian. But yes, of course, you can do freelancing, which will bring additional income. 10 years into this field of being a nutritionist and dietitian, it can fetch you around 7,50,000 annually on an average. Okay, so this is basically the salary structure of food industry in India. Now, there is this food related autonomous body in India called FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It's an autonomous body established under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So what is the role of this particular body? It is to protect and promote public health by regulating and supervising food safety. So it's a very important body which is supervising food safety in India. It carries out certain exams. So it's employing a lot of people. There are exams that you have to clear, and then you can directly get into you can directly get a government job in the food sector in India. So it has its headquarters in Delhi. There are other 6 regional offices, 14 referral laboratories, 72 state union territory laboratories, and 112 laboratories which are NABL accredited. Okay, so what is this FSSAI exam? Okay, so since there was increase in demand for food testing personnel, now there are a lot of these food outlets. It becomes very important to keep a check at the quality of all these outlets. So there is an increasing demand for food testing personnel. So this FSSAI, is involved in employing fresh postgraduates in the field of food industry, food testing laboratories, and it conducts the junior analyst exam. So here it is important to note that it's compulsory to qualify both the papers of junior analyst exam, including theory and practical examination. So there are 2 exams, theory and practical. FSSAI conducts a theory exam followed by practical exam in July and September. Okay, so you have to know the time frame. You have to know what time the forms will be out. So you have to be well prepared for this particular exam. You have to go through the syllabus. You have to, be well prepared of what all could be asked in both theory and practical examination. Okay. So what is it that a food analyst is required to know? He or she should have a knowledge of chemical testing or analytical procedures, quantitative research methods, biological research techniques, quality assurance techniques, and government regulations. So all these things are very important for a food analyst to have a knowledge of. Okay. So all of this is covered in the syllabus of FSSAI exam. Okay. So when you're preparing for these exams, junior food analyst and all, then while you're preparing for it, all of these topics are covered. This is how candidates who have already cleared the FSSAI exam will have a upper hand compared to anyone else. So this course or this exam, FSSAI exam, it involves a lot of these topics. Okay, and not a lot of data is available. So there was a lot of demand to start a course for this FSSAI exam. So that is the reason Biotechnica has come up with a course for this FSSAI exam, and Food Corporation of India self-learning course. Okay, so what are the different topics that are involved over here? It covers almost all the topics that that are asked in the exam of junior food analyst. So let us have a look at these topics: food laws and standards in India, planning, organization, and setup of food analyst laboratory, including NABL, ISO, IEC 17025 2005. So it also involves principles of food preservation, processing and packaging, labeling, claims, and principles of nutrition. It includes food hygiene, sanitation, HACCP, quality control tools, GLP, GHP, GMP, FSMS, all these various aspects. Then food chemistry, food additives, antioxidants, contaminants, adulterants, food microbiology. What are the instruments that are used in food analysis? So it's a very comprehensive collection of all the information that is required for clearing this particular exam. Very, very important exam if you want to get into food industry. FSSAI exam becomes very, very important. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to keep looking for what all could be asked, gathering data from here and there. We have it for you ready made. So what you just have to do is enroll for the course and start working on it right away. So why should you go for this course? Okay, it covers almost all the topics of the exam, so you don't have to go anywhere else. Okay, so this will be your one stop for all the information related to FSSAI Junior Food Analyst exam and FCI Self-Learning and FCI exam. So it covers almost all the topics. The course content meets industry standards. You can attend this course online anywhere, anytime. Okay, so whenever you are free, whenever you have any little time, you can just start going through the lectures. Interactive sessions with on-spot doubt clearance. Okay, you have this important thing of interactive sessions. So if you have any doubts, then where will you go, right? So you have experts with whom you can interact, and they'll guide you with proper information. Then timings are suitable as per the students and working professionals. You will also get a hard copy of the certificate when you are completing this particular course. So it will add weightage to your profile. Okay. So these are the various reasons that you should definitely go for this course if you want to get into food industry in India. So it's not just only saying, we have feedbacks from people that you can refer, and those who have taken up this course and those who have cleared the exam successfully with the help of this course, and they are now into the food sector in India. So you can we can just have a look at this video, which is a testimonial from one of our students who had taken up the FSSAI course, right?
Hi, I'm Anis Rahman. I have cleared FSSAI Junior Food Analyst examination with third rank. Here I would like to share my journey by hoping that it may help at least some of you to achieve your goals. To be frank, I'm an average student. Maybe better to say that I'm a below average student compared to you all pupils, because I was failed in 8 subjects during my graduation. To clear those, I was taken an extra year itself. I hope that most probably every one of you have cleared your graduation at your first attempt itself, right? So these competitive examinations are just a dream only about me. But after completing my graduation, I started to think that I don't want to keep my dreams as just a dream. So I thought that start learning, but issue about me that from where I will start and from where I get better material and classes all. At that time I came to know about Biotechnica from one of my friends who told me that there I will get better simplified classes. I also thought just to give it a try, so I purchased Biotechnica material. It was really a breakthrough about me, because there I got expert classes with better explanation and where better visualization techniques are used, like animated contents, diagrams, etc. So the learning became quite interesting, and it helped me a lot to make my concepts are very clear. Another issue about me was to remember the things that I have learned so far. But in Biotechnica, the completed classes are uploading in Biotechnica portal, so I could repeat those classes. I strongly believe that revision is only the way to remember the things that we have learned so far. And Biotechnica were provided hard copy of material too. The same was available in portal also. So while traveling also I could refer those materials. And whenever I am getting some doubts, 24-hour chat support helped me a lot, because the expert provided me solution for my doubts within a couple of minutes itself. If you are trying for a competitive examination, and if you are ready to hard work and with a better material, of course you can clear any of your goals irrespective of your present status. I am thanking whole Biotechnica team for helping me for my success, and wish you all the best for your exams. Thank you.
So just go for it and keep an edge over the others. Clear the exam and become a part of the most important sector in India and in the whole world. Okay. So I hope it was informative. We got to know about the various aspects of 2 courses, epidemiology course and courses in food technology. So we also had a look at the various career aspects of it. I hope it was informative. Stay tuned for information on more of the courses that will be in very much demand after this coronavirus pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Richa, for your valuable discussion. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Tanushree, and I'll be talking about the another course that will be in demand in years to come post COVID-19 outbreak. And the course is Toxicology. We have been hearing about some of the drugs like chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, and many more that can counter the prevailing pandemic. Several scientists they have claimed that chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine they can fight novel coronavirus. And several countries they are using these drugs for the prevention or treatment of COVID-19 in patients. But the question arises, are these drugs safe? Several studies they demonstrated that combination of chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine resulted in some adverse effects in patients, like disruption of the electrical activity of the heart, and as a result, CDC, that is Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they have warned to not to use the combination of these drugs in patients with hepatic disease or renal failure, or should not be taken without the recommendation of the doctor. So finding cure, medicine or vaccine is not enough. We need to know what side effects or adverse effects the treatment can have on living cell. And in general, if we talk about the present scenario, the land is polluted, air is polluted, water is polluted, and even the food that we are eating is polluted. There are toxins everywhere. We humans are in continuous exposure to these toxins. These toxins are entering into our body through inhalation, ingestion, and our skin is also absorbing these toxins. So there are toxins everywhere. And these toxins are resulting into several adverse effects in humans and resulting into several diseases and disorders. Therefore, this is the time where we need to understand how these toxins they cause harm to humans, how we can treat the diseases or disorders that are caused because of these toxins. So what are exactly these toxins? What are toxins? Toxins, they are poisonous substances which are produced within living cells or organisms, and they are classified into three, that is, they are physical toxins, biological toxins, and chemical toxins. So when I talk about physical toxins, that means these are the radiations or the radioactive materials that are present. Then biological toxins, they comprises of snake venom, and there are several mushrooms in nature which contains a neurotoxin. Then spiders, such as black widow spiders, they can produce a poison that is a toxin. Asbestos, asbestos fibers, lead chromate, and gasoline, these are all toxins. And these substances, they are present in nature, but there are several substances which are man-made, like xenobiotic compounds, pesticides, and drugs. They are called as toxicants. So, yes, Nisha, yes, toxins are basically the natural substances and toxicants are the man-made substances. Correct. So, these toxins, they are basically produce an adverse effect in living organisms, and therefore it becomes very important to study these toxins and the effect they cause in human beings. And this is where the toxicology or the toxicologist comes into play. So what is toxicology? The study of adverse effects of chemical, physical, or biological agents. So I can say the study of the man-made or the natural toxins, the effect of these on living organisms and the ecosystem. And not only their study, but also how you can, the study of the adverse effect which are caused by these agents, by these toxins, but also how we can prevent the prevention and amelioration of such adverse effect. How we can prevent, how we can treat these adverse effects is known as toxicology. So earlier this toxicology is known as science of poisons, but with time it acquires a more detailed definition that I have mentioned here. Now, the dose of the chemical or a substance a person is exposed to is an important factor in toxicology. And as you can see that there are several substances I have mentioned here, and all these substances, they have the potential to be toxic if they are given to a living organism in right conditions and dose. So as you can see here, like if alcohol is being given at 0.05%, then it is a non-toxic, or we can say it's a beneficial dose. But if you give it more than 0.01%, then it will be a toxic dose, and it will be lethal if you give it around 0.5%. Similarly, carbon monoxide, it is non-toxic less than 10%, but toxic when it is around 20 to 30%, and lethal if it is given more than 60%. So several substances I have mentioned there along with their non-toxic or the toxic dose or lethal dose. The beneficial word actually here we are using, so that means that at this particular dose it is not causing any harmful effect in the human being. And there are several drugs like aspirin, ibuprofen, they are used to reduce fever and relieve pain, and also secobarbital. which is used for insomnia, or it is used as a sedative before surgery. So you can see that we have a specific doses, because if we are not following these doses, then they might result into several conditions, several adverse effects in human beings. So basically, whenever any drug is being released into the market, they have been tested. So they have been tested to determine the safety of these drugs in human beings. So toxicologists or the pharmacologists, they use the effective and toxic dose levels to determine the relative safety of these pharmaceuticals. So as you can see here, two dose response curves, they are presented for the same drug. One is for the effectiveness and other is for the toxicity, because both these both effectiveness and toxicity are the important parameters for which the drugs are tested. So dose that is 50% to 75% effective does not cause toxicity. However, a 90% effective dose, it results in a small amount of toxicity. It may result in small amount of toxicity. Now, when we talk about toxic dose, so basically toxic dose, it refers to the or indicate the doses that cause adverse toxic effects. And here TD10, TD50 and TD90, it means the doses that are toxic to the 10% of the population, 50% and 90% of the population. So highest dose at which there was not an observed toxic or adverse effect, we use a term NOEL, and lowest dose at which there was an observed toxic or adverse effect, we use a term LOEL. So these type of studies are very important, because these studies will decide whether the drug need to be launched into the market or not. So what are the purpose of toxicology? The study of toxicology provides protection to humans and environment from toxic effects of toxicants. So just as I showed you in the previous slide, that these kind of studies, they have been performed by the pharmacologists and toxicologists, and they make sure that whatever the doses that are being given to a person, they are not causing any detrimental effect, and also they are safe for both humans and environment. So this study will ultimately lead towards the development of the newer, innovative and more selective drug therapies to treat different ailments having reduced toxic potential to human body. So just as I told you, that drug response studies, and also sometimes whenever the toxic agents, they enter into the body, they may affect the entire body or many organs rather than a specific site. Okay, that is, instead of affecting a single organ, they may affect many organs. Like the example is potassium cyanide, which is a systemic toxicant. It affects every cell and organ in a body by interfering with the cell's ability to use oxygen. Whereas the lead, it is basically it is an organ toxicant affecting the central nervous system, kidneys and hematopoietic systems. So basically it targets 3 organs. So all these studies will help in development of the therapies, like how much of the dose is responsible of causing these effects, and where they are at what place inside the body, at what site they are causing harm. So all these studies will help in developing the drug therapies and helps in preventing us from the toxic effects of these chemicals or toxins. Now, these toxic effects that we are talking, or the adverse effects we are talking, they are classified basically into 6. That is acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, subchronic toxicity, carcinogenicity, developmental toxicity, and genetic toxicity. So, who is toxicologist? Toxicologists are those experts who study toxicology. And what they study? They study detection of poison, properties of poison or toxin, effects of toxins, regulation of toxins, the occurrence of toxins, and treatment of toxins. And based on the role that these toxicologists they play, we have different branches of toxicology. So let's talk about these branches. So you can see that toxicology is a very wide field, and it comprises of so many branches like occupational, environmental, regulatory, mechanistic, industrial, clinical, forensic, and veterinary. Okay, so there are several courses and degrees that are in the field of toxicology. So the requirements is that you should have the science stream in senior secondary level, and then you can either choose toxicology or any biological sciences in bachelor's, and in master's you need to choose the toxicology or environmental toxicology. Then there are several PG diplomas are also available. Many universities and institutes, they provide the diploma, so either you can do diploma in ecotoxicology and some other subjects are there. Then there are several short-term courses as well, diploma courses on aquatic ecology, xenobiotics, and auditor courses are there. And finally, you can either do a PhD or you can join any project related to toxicology or environmental toxicology. And here I have mentioned some of the study centers and institutions which provide these degrees. Like you have CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, then you have IIBT, that is International Institute of Biotechnology and Toxicology, then IIT Kharagpur, IIS Bangalore, SCMS Institute of Toxicology and Technology and Management, Kochi, Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. So there are several universities and the study centers where you can study toxicology. And talking about job opportunities, so there are many job opportunities available in this field. You can work as a scientist or as a JRF, SRF, RA or SRA in any of the labs or institutes. Then also you can work as scientific officer, analyst, ecologist, as a drug inspector, assistant manager. And also if you are interested in academics, then you can work as a lecturer or a professor. And also if you have an interest in writing articles, you can also become a scientific journalist as well as editors. So basically toxicologists, they perform many different duties ranging from research in the academic, non-profit and industrial field, product safety evaluation, consulting, public service and legal regulation. So the job opportunities are there for you. And if we talk about salary, so obviously the salary for jobs in toxicology is depending upon several factors, depending on your experience, depending on your education qualification, and depending on the sector in which to which you are related. And when I talk about job opportunities, so who all are the recruiters? So we have the FSSAI, government organizations are there, different government organizations, colleges and universities, hospitals, research laboratories, and Indian foreign companies are there. Swati, FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. So basically in different, like these organizations, they require the people who have experience on working with toxins and those who have an idea of what are they can study the effects of the toxins. So because you know that the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, basically it's a very prestigious organization and it works for the food safety as well as it helps in formulation of the food safety regulations in India, and it's basically been responsible for protecting and promoting public health through regulation and supervision of food safety. So here the toxicologists are in great demand, as well as there are several government organizations which are been working on food testing and drug testing. They also require the toxicologists. Then the colleges and universities, they require lecturers and professors of toxicology. And in hospitals also, like if a person needs to perform a blood testing or any poison in the blood or any poison in the human body, so definitely they require the persons with the experience in clinical toxicology or forensic toxicology. Similarly, research laboratories are there in which you can particularly perform the research based on bioremediation, xenobiotic compounds, and several companies are also hiring the toxicologists. Now moving on to another course which will be in demand post COVID-19 outbreak, that is vaccine design and drug development. The coronavirus, which causes the respiratory illness COVID-19, it has spread across the globe with unseen speed and ferocity. Globally, there have been millions of confirmed cases of COVID-19, including lakhs of deaths that are reported to World Health Organization. And every day these figures, they are increasing. The world has been sent into self-isolation in an attempt to curb the spread and major events that are postponed or cancelled all around the globe, all around the world. So the question arises, don't we have any vaccine for these viruses? Can't we prevent the spread of this virus? So the answer you all know. Vaccines, they are very important. They are incredibly important in fight against the diseases, and we have been able to keep a handful of viral diseases at bay for decades because of vaccine development. So let's talk about what vaccines are, why they are so important, and how scientists will use them in fight against coronavirus. A vaccine is a biological preparation that provides active acquired immunity to a particular infectious disease. We all are aware that the defense system, that is our immune system, is composed of different types of white blood cells which can detect and destroy foreign invaders like bacteria and viruses. So some gobble up bacteria, some produce antibodies which can tell the body what to destroy and take out the germs, and other cells memorizes what the invaders look like. So the body can respond quickly if they invade again. So vaccine, it typically contains an agent that resembles a disease-causing microorganism and is often made from weakened or kill forms of the microbe, its toxins, or one of its surface proteins. So Dr. Priyanjana told you about the structure of viruses, that viruses, they have a genetic material that is either DNA or RNA, and they also comprises of proteins. So these proteins, genetic material, can be used to develop a vaccine. So let's take an example, measles vaccine. So basically measles vaccine, it contains a weakened version of measles virus, and when a patient it receives the measles vaccine, their immune system recognizes these proteins and the proteins which are present on measles virus, and they learns to fight it off. So basically these vaccines are the weakened versions or inactivated versions of the live viruses. So why vaccines? Vaccine development has been a very successful strategy in the prevention of highly contagious or serious diseases. You all know about smallpox. Smallpox is completely eradicated because of this vaccine development. The smallpox is no longer a threat to human health, and we also want some vaccine against the coronavirus so that this coronavirus remains or is no longer remains a threat. So the question arises how one can develop a vaccine, because you can see the research is going on all around the globe in developing a vaccine, and basically among the research labs, among the pharmaceutical companies, there is a race that which company brings the vaccines first for the coronavirus. But the question arises, why is it taking so long time? So the answer is that the vaccine development is not a one-day process. It's a long process. It takes it requires years of research to develop a vaccine. So let's talk about how the vaccines are developed. So you can see there are so many stages, so many phases of vaccine development. So let's talk about the first phase, that is exploratory. In this phase, the research intensive, we can say it's a research intensive phase of the vaccine development process, and here we want to identify the natural or the synthetic antigens. Okay, so basically the antigens, these are the substances which can trigger the immune system to develop the immunity, to develop the antibodies which can finally neutralize these antigens. So we need to find out for developing a vaccine for SARS-CoV-2, the scientists need to find a viable antigen that will stimulate the body's immune system into defending against this infection. So we need these antigens to prevent or treat diseases, and these antigens, they might include weakened strains of particular virus, just as I told you in the previous slide. Then after the exploratory phase, we have the preclinical phase, and during this phase, the researchers, they uses the laboratory, they perform experiments in laboratory, and they perform animal testing to determine whether the candidate vaccine will produce immunity. And this is the stage, many candidate vaccines, they don't move on to the next stage of development because they fail to produce that immunity or prove harmful to the test subjects, that is the animals. After the preclinical stage, like once if the vaccine is candidate vaccine proves to be successful, ensures safety, we can move on to the another phase, that is the clinical development. Now this phase, basically it's very long, because here the pharmaceutical company or the lab, it needs to submit an application for an IND, that stands for investigational new drug, to the US Food and Drug Administration, that is FDA. And once the they need to summarize findings to date and describe how the drug will be tested and created. And once this FDA, they will host the clinical trials, they hold a review board for approval of the application, and a specific time period is there in which they have to approve, 30 days the FDA has to approve the application. And once the proposal has been approved, okay, just right now we are only talking about just the approval of the proposal. So once the proposal is approved, after that the vaccine must pass through 3 trial stages of human testing. So when we talk about development of the vaccine or development of the drug against the coronavirus, so you all know that there are many companies across the world which are working on this SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, and they are developing it in different ways. So different ways, that means some are using the nucleic acid of this virus, so they are termed as nucleic acid vaccines, and some are using some proteins. So basically we have the Serum Institute of India and Sanofi Pasteur, they are working on this in developing of the nucleic acid vaccines, where a small piece of the gene, the small piece of genetic code can be used to act as an antigen. So as you know, Dr. Priyanjana has already discussed about the structure of the this virus. So you can see that it has the genetic material, that is RNA, and it has several membrane proteins and blood proteins are there. So either the proteins or the nucleic acid can be used to develop the vaccine. So let's talk about nucleic acid vaccines. So here they are called as RNA. RNA is the genetic material which is there. So RNA based vaccines against the virus. So how these vaccines can be generated, that a small piece of genetic code that is of RNA can be introduced into the body, and once they're introduced into the body immune system will produce this RNA will produce the viral proteins, and once they will enter into the body will detect them as foreign agents and will synthesize antibodies for them, and these antibodies can finally neutralize these viral proteins or antigens. But all these studies, they are under different phases of clinical trials. So determining how vaccines and drugs can be used for existing and emerging health threats and understanding the inherent challenges of that learning process is crucial for the next generation of public health professionals. And that next generation of researchers, the next generation of public health professionals is you. You all can make a difference, because in coming years there will be a demand of the researchers, more demand of research based on vaccine and drug development, and more funds will be there, and therefore we need to strengthen our strengthen our R&D system, so that we can deal with this time of crisis, the time of crisis like this. So if you are wondering where to start, so any of you belonging to the stream of biology or chemistry or related sciences like engineering, mathematics, statistics, they can have a future in drug and vaccine development. They can make a future in vaccine and drug development. So it's just that you need to have a basic knowledge of sciences. Now let's talk about the career opportunities. You can work as a scientist or as a project assistant or research associate. So if you have an interest in research, you can join any pharmaceutical company or institute, research lab, and can perform research. And if you have interest in academics, you can join any universities or institution and can work as assistant professor or associate professor. Then uh, you can also join any health sector, hospitals, or you can work as a business development executive or as a computational biophysicist. So basically, computational biophysicist, it uses numerical algorithms to study the physical principles underlying biological phenomena and processes. So some of the career opportunities I have mentioned here, and it all depends on your interest, which what you want to become, which area interests you. So thank you students for your feedback, and I hope like many of you go through this phase that you are not able to decide. You are in the dilemma which course to choose, which field to choose, which field has most promising future. So through this webinar you have got your answers, and still if you have any query, if you want to ask anything, please do write us. So for now, thank you.
All right. So now that we have finished the webinar, how was it? Did you like it? Did you like the webinar? Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I hope it was valuable. Yes, I know these skill sets were always there, but now that more scope and has come out for these skill sets, you must pursue, you must learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some more things apart from whatever you have learned till now. So some special things are going to come up now. Okay, now as you can see on your screen, I want you to be somebody who is not who breaks under the pressure of lockdown. I want you to break records. This adversity can break some people, but don't be among them. You have to be somebody who is going to break record. Okay, if you have to break a record, then as I showed you in my previous slide initially, that actions are the seed of the fate. Okay, so you have to take action, and then you have to learn the rules of the game. Okay, now like Albert Einstein told you that you have to learn the rules of the game. Now that you know all the rules of the game, you have to play it better than anyone else. That means you have to first learn it faster than anyone else, and then you have to have the certifications or have the skills in your mind, and then apply for these courses. Okay, apply for the jobs which demand for these courses. Just recently I will tell you, there was a vacancy we posted on Biotechnica where the starting salary is 10 lakh rupees per annum, and they are looking for a PhD microbiology who has got experience and basic knowledge of virology. Now many of you may be PhD microbiology, but you may not have the virology knowledge, you may not have the required certificate for that. So don't worry, all that is right here in this power packed webinar. Now take action today. We have almost all these skill sets and courses available on Biotechnica. As you can see on your screen, Virology self-learning certification course was launched somewhere around 7th or 8th of April, and a lot of students have taken it. A lot of students have given us very positive feedback, which you can actually, I'll show you that as well. So these are the courses which are really working great for everybody. So why not avail this? Now, there is epidemiology certification course with the batch is starting from 15th of May, and the admissions are open. If you want to enroll for that, the link will be given in the description right now. You can always enroll right there. Now, food analyst exam. You see, food analysis is something which is going to be very challenging in the post-corona era, like my expert told you. And of course, with exploding population, there will be demand for more food tech specialists, more food analysts, more food quality and control analysts, and that is where you can make a very good and great career. Now whatever salaries my expert showed you, those were the salaries in the pre-corona era. In the post-corona era, they will shoot up by 2x, 3x or 5x. Okay, that's one thing. That is why you have to be ready. Same with the vaccine design and development. Now let me come to all of them one by one. Now right now what you can see on your screen is the virology and COVID-19. Now again, evergreen field, very hot topic. everyone is jumping in. Okay, now this is the field where maximum funding, maximum projects will come from government of India, government of USA, government of Germany, France, Italy or UK, and of course China, where more projects, more research will happen. Okay, so if you have these certifications, these skill sets, this knowledge, this will add as a cherry on the top of the cake, and that cake is obviously your existing qualification. Okay, so if you utilize this lockdown, if you utilize the current situation and take action, pursue this course, trust me, this is going to be a evergreen field, because beyond COVID-19, what we see next June or July 2020, things are going to be changing, and this course is going to help you out there. Now coming to the food safety and certification. Now humans will always need food. Do we agree? Everybody? Yes? For past thousands of years since humanity existed, the first thing we feel as soon as we are born is hunger, right? The first thing we are born with is hunger. So humans will always be hungry. Will always be a demand for the food, and there will always be a demand for safe food. Okay, and that is where food safety officers, you will see a big boom of FSSAI hiring more food safety officers. Okay, and that is where you need to pass this FSSAI entrance exam, and for that the link is being given right now in the chat box. You can go and check out food safety officer certification course, so you can pursue this course. This has got extensive module, 65 or 67 hours, 65 or 67 lectures, okay, each of 1.5 hours. Okay, so that's the food safety FSSAI certification course. And of course it also makes you eligible to apply for the FCI, that is Food Corporation of India managerial jobs as well. Now food safety officer, generally they conduct food analyst exams twice a year, but you can always be ready. The moment vacancy comes, you must apply. In fact, one of our students qualified and he got, I think, 5th or 8th rank. I'll show you that as well. Now coming to vaccine design and development, of course, when this is an evergreen field, everybody talked about this since past 40 days, right? Now you have to be ready. As long as there are going to be pathogens, there are going to be demand for vaccines, and there is going to be demand for people like you if you have the right skill set. So this particular vaccine design and development course has been made by industry experts at Biotechnica, and they have put in their 100% to make sure that you are very clear with how vaccine is developed, how vaccine evolves, how exactly what are the stages of vaccine development. Okay, so this is a mega course which you must be pursuing. Okay, now okay, I can see somebody is asking in chat, should I pursue all the courses? No, go for 1 or 2 courses first, or maybe at least one course. Pursue it, see how it comes out. Did you understand it? Are you able to utilize it? Then only go for the next. If you are sure, if you have already done certification courses at Biotechnica, you already know how things work, you can always do it. Now what exactly happens with this? Now as I told you, let me quickly go back and show you the toxicology course also. So we have this toxicology course. The link is being given right now in description, so in the chat box. So 20 May we are starting the toxicology certification course, and 15th of May we are starting the epidemiology course. So these 2 courses, the admission has started. The course will begin from these dates. Okay, so how exactly it works, what are the facilities we give you, that I'm going to show you now. So far all of you, are you clear? Let me quickly address the chat. Clear? Okay, great. Now what exactly do you get in these courses? You get a competitive advantage, of course. These are trending courses, of course. You get a competitive advantage. Once the lockdown opens, by the time you should have finished your certification and given the test, after that Biotechnica will issue you a hard copy certificate. Now these are career targeted, created by international experts, and what we do is we give it to you forever. That means you can join the course today. The price is very low as 999 rupees. Okay, that's the minimum price, or 699 rupees also. There is a course. So now these courses you can keep it forever. Okay, so we keep updating this course every week as things evolve. Okay, in fact, just yesterday we updated the virology course with a module which says how India can build its immunity shield. Okay, so we have a specific module, so which we have added into the virology course. Now what happens here, we give you these courses forever. So that means, okay, yes, you can take this course today, Okay, you start studying, you got the certificate maybe post lockdown, but after 2 years, if you want to revise, you can come back and revise. After 2 years, things would have changed, so this course keeps getting updated every now and then. Okay, so you can always come and read what has changed in the virology sector, because we keep updating it all every now and then. Plus we give you 24/7 expert guidance. That means you can ask question to the expert 24/7. Suppose you are studying right now, you can ask questions. You are studying at 2 o'clock at night, you can ask questions. So, and our experts will reply to you within 24 hours or as soon as possible, as soon as they are online. So most of the time they are always online, they'll reply to you. So these courses are actually designed by industry experts for your benefit, and we are picking out trending courses. So it is not like, okay, we go and take a standard book and make a course. No, these are evolving courses actually, because we keep adding newer things into these courses. Next, what do we add into this is, of course, 24/7 chat support. As I told you, the lowest price in the industry. What we have done is, actual cost to make these courses is huge. Okay, but we are giving away around 94% discount on almost all the courses. So it starts at 699 rupees including the GST, and it goes up to 1999. That's a max. So these are very micro priced, self-certification, self-learning courses which you can study at your own pace. And that's our quality pledge, that's our service pledge, that will give you the best price at the lowest possible price. Now as soon as you purchase, the activation happens instantly. Like, there is no manual thing that somebody will go and create ID password for you and email you. Automatically you will get the user ID password and you can start studying. That's the best part. Now the quality control passed, what does it mean is, once the course is ready and uploaded to the portal, we don't straight away give it to you. It goes through a rigorous process of revision and re-revision, and that is why it takes a lot of time to create these courses. And then of course you can study anywhere, anytime, anywhere, whether you are on earth or moon. All you need is an internet connection. So that's the benefit of these courses. Okay, now coming to the order protection. The order protection is, the moment you buy, from that time, if you feel that there is something lacking in the course, you can immediately suggest us, and that particular topic or that particular module will be added upon request if the experts feel it is needed. So that kind of order protection we have, that you do not feel that, okay, the quality of the course is substandard and now it is bad. No, if you don't like, you can immediately give a feedback and our experts will improvise. So because these are evolving courses, these are not a course, okay, fixed, it is printed, we cannot change it. We will always change it based on your feedback. Now with all this, I want to tell you that you have the right skills already. You are MSc or BSc or PhD, but if you are already on the right track, you will be run over if you just sit there. Okay, you need to keep moving. Okay, these particular trending courses will help you not just move ahead, it will help you get better in your job search, in your interviews. It will also give a very good impression to the employers that, okay, this person is very, very serious about his career. Plus, knowledge never harms. So don't just sit there. Okay, you will be run over if you just sit there. Move on, move to the next course always. Now what exactly is success? What exactly, how you can get success is because of continuous effort. It's not strength, it's not intelligence. Somebody is very intelligent, he will not be successful. You have to put in continuous effort. So that is why these courses require effort. You have to really study. Okay, and then you have to give a test at the end, and minimum you must score some percentage. Say passing marks is 50%, you must score 50%. Okay, then only you can qualify and get the hard copy certificate. Yes, we do give you extra attempts to attend this test once again, no problem there. So with this, we come to an end of my presentation. I want to quickly summarize that life is an art of drawing without an eraser. Once this lockdown is over, once all this is over, it's all frozen. Okay, you cannot change things, you cannot erase whatever has happened. But if you take the right decisions today, if you take action today, that these actions will become the seeds of destiny. Okay, and then you will be proud of yourself, you'll be proud of Biotechnica that I gave you the right advice, and you will be successful because you will keep putting in consistent effort. You will not fall down in adversity. Okay, you will be the next Sir Isaac Newton of biosciences, because Sir Isaac Newton, whatever work he did in between 1665 to 1667, you see, he discovered calculus, he discovered motion, he discovered optics, he discovered gravitation. Most of us know him for gravitation, correct? But no, he is also known for calculus, motion, and optics, right? So the camera which is shooting me right now live, even the optics of that was discovered by this great man 400 years ago. How does it feel now? Don't you feel, do you get that Newton moment right now? You can be that Newton if you take action today, if you start putting in effort, start learning new things. Virology, epidemiology, food technology and food science, toxicology, all these courses are going to be really, going to be ballistic in the future, but you have to take action today. Okay, with this I come to an end of my presentation. Quickly, I will be there another 5 minutes in chat. You can ask me questions. I'll be switching off this live broadcast now. I hope you liked my presentation. I hope you liked our other experts presentation also. So now I'll be sharing a link in the chat box. Please fill in your feedback, okay, and please do give us your genuine honest feedback. How did you feel about this webinar? And we will be giving away surprise gifts to all of you, whoever is giving us a feedback in the form in the next 24 hours. You will be hearing back from us very soon. So my dear fellow Indians, together we can and we will certainly make a better India for a better world. But I need your support. I need your help. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Have a great day ahead. Good night. Bye bye.